So I have a small story for you. I could talk about it now because it's been about 6 months, and let's just get right into it. I was sleeping on the couch. I had my wife at the time, her 4 kids living here, and my 2 kids living here. And like I said, I was sleeping on the couch, and she had the bedroom, and we were fighting. There were some problems going on in the relationship, and she had some health problems too that I don't want to get into, but it was keeping her bedridden. And one night she came into the living room and asked me if I, just out of the blue, just asked me if I wanted to come into the bedroom with her and watch a movie. But there was so much resentment starting to build up, I didn't want to. My mom, my family knew we were fighting, and I just didn't want to get into it. So I told her no, and she kind of pushed it, come on, you know, and I just like, no, I don't want to do it. She left, she went into the bedroom and closed the door. I called my mom, and I was telling her what happened, and my mom had my back and said, Joe, don't go into the bedroom, you know, just the chaos is gonna start and you're gonna end up fighting again. Just stay on the couch, keep the peace. And I was like, okay, you know, right on. Watched a movie, kids fell asleep, they're school the next day, and I went to sleep. And when I woke up, I went into the bedroom. I found her, she was passed. Called the cops, and you know, they came, and I think one of my sons, or her son, older son, called some of her friends, and her friends started to gather on the porch of my house downstairs. When the police came, I remember sitting in the bathroom, I was crying. It was just really an overwhelming experience. And the police officer asked me if I would go downtown and make a statement. I've never done this. This has never happened to me. And as I was walking out the door, I heard one of the girls scream, "Why are they taking Joe? What did he do? Joe, what did you do?" I could hear this. It didn't register, but I heard it. And one of her older sons had to come down to make a statement, I guess. Made a statement, and it was only like for a minute. I mean, I was just crying, constantly crying. It was just, I couldn't believe that this was happening. It was like a nightmare, right? Got back, called my parents. My parents come, picked me up, and we were at my parents' house for 4 days. Pretty much the whole thing was a dream. I really can't recall it. I can't even recall the funeral. But I do remember the night before the funeral, I was sitting outside and I was crying. And my dad came up and he said, "What's wrong? Why are you so, like, you want to talk about it?" And I told him, I said, "I can't go to the funeral because everybody's gonna think that I killed her." And he was mad, and he was pissed, and he was yelling at me, "How dare you think like that?" You know, I truly believed that, you know. And I also had guilt. I was angry at my mom for saying, "Don't go into the bedroom," you know, like keeping me solid at that moment when I made that phone call. And also that person that screamed that, like, "Why are they taking Joe?" You know, that really fucked with my head. I have no contact with that girl. Yeah, but yeah, that fucked with my head. It took me about a year to heal that situation. I did a lot of lonely nights. I had a function because of the kids. Her kids were still here, my kids were still here, and they had to go to school. Everything was like a dream. I remember a lot of people were like, they were really kind, like, you know, but I knew that there was some that thought that I had something to do with it, like not like giving her the pills or for her passing, but pushing her to that point that she passed. And this video is going to be broken up because this is really a hard subject to talk about. So just bear with me if it fades in and out and stuff, okay? Because it's just what it is. Yeah, I felt really alone, and you know, I went to a lot of AA meetings, and you know what? Right on for AA, because the fellowship really got me through that hard time. I mean, I didn't relapse, and that probably has to do with the sponsor I had. I had a really good sponsor. His name was Danny, and he was there for me 24/7 anytime I needed him. And there was really good people in that program. But the thing is, when like, I was really lonely, and I was in a pretty scary place, and I got into a relationship. I think it was about 6 months after she passed, and everybody was so critical, you know, like, why would he go out with, like, I guess there's a time limit that when someone passes, but I was trying to fix myself. I was trying to heal myself, you know what I mean? Well, like, when the doors are closed and you're off the phone and you're off the computer and you're laying there on a couch, you're by yourself. Fuck what other people think and what they say, you know? And that's kind of like how I was dealing with it. It was like when I got into that relationship, I was hearing all these negative comments. Kind of had a lot to do with pushing me away from AA as well, you know? You know, that was a really dark time for me, and I truly thought I was never gonna heal over it. I never thought that I would be in another relationship, find love. I kind of thought that the kids would leave, you know, and I would be there by myself, and that was it. That was my journey, and my journey was over. That first relationship that I got into 6 months afterwards, I knew it wasn't gonna last. If anything, I probably used her because I was just trying to heal, you know, and I just didn't want to be alone. And I tried to forget the passing of my wife at the time because I just didn't want to deal with it. I mean, I would break down once in a while when thoughts came in, and I really had to not sit in that shit, because if I did, you know, there's a good chance that I'd just say fuck it and relapse, and just because I had that characteristic of if things don't go right, I'll just destroy myself. You know, I've done it all my life, and just because I was in recovery, I was scared that that would happen. So, you know, someone like me just didn't want to deal with it. You know, you got people that go to therapy and do all that stuff. It's just not in my makeup to do that, you know. And I think I've done well with it. You know, I think I healed. It's been 7 years. I mean, there's some things that went on that, like, for example, I had a plant that she owned, and it died like 3 years ago, and fuck, man, when that plant died, it hit me like I felt like I let her down because the plant died. And instead of you know, that's what I originally thought, but when I thought about it longer, I realized that was the last thing that I had to let go, was that plant. I know that sounds fucking ridiculous or retarded about that plant, but for me, that plant represented her in the house still. Yeah, it was a dark time, and I guess I'm sharing it because it was such an important story of where I am today, and you know, some of the experiences. Like, I went through a lot of shit in my life, and that one happened in sobriety, and that's probably the worst thing that ever happened to me, period. But definitely the worst thing that happened to me in my sobriety. And that one girl just screaming, you know, why are they taking them, fucking just fucked with my head for a long time. And you know, I'm just happy I had supportive people around me, because it's just like when someone passes, people want to point the finger, you know what I mean? They want to fucking try to figure out why that, let's say somebody hung themselves, they have to figure out why they hung themselves, and they want to blame somebody. They want to blame that fucking, maybe their friend that told them to go fuck themselves that night before, or the girlfriend that wouldn't take them back. People are so easily like, it was that fucking bitch that did it. And the truth is, that person, that bitch that you're calling, is fucking feeling pain and remorse. And you know, people can be fucking easy. People can be evil and push people to the edge. And I'm just happy no one really did that to me, you know. I don't think I could have handled it. So we are strong and we are powerful, you know, and we all have our journeys, and we're gonna go through fucking hard times, but you know what, we can get through it, man. You know, I'm not no fucking poster boy of anything. I'm just a guy, I'm just a man, you know, and if I can get through shit like this, anybody could, or can, you know. Drug addict, fucking. That's a little bit of my story. I don't know if this will help anybody. I don't even know why I'm doing this fucking video. I really don't, because it's such a personal video for me. But maybe this is just another part of my healing process to share it. And you know, thanks for hanging in there. Have a good one.